Hey everyone, it's Konrad Bobilak here, author of Australian Property Finance Made Simple and Director of Investors Prime Real Estate. And I've made this short video for you today talking about the difference between buying a brand new townhouse off the plan versus an old house on a big block in the same suburb for the same price. What's better? In fact, this was the question that was asked from one of my clients that I'm working with. Why should I buy a brand new townhouse with a small land footprint where for the same price I can get a big house with a massive block of land? It's a very legitimate question, isn't it? And you know what? My thinking has changed so much over the last 15 years when it comes to the answer to that question, which I'm going to take you through today. And more importantly, I'm going to take you through the methodology of what's really important when it comes to property investing and building wealth. Because ultimately, property investing is not about buying properties. Properties are just a vehicle to get you to the outcome. The outcome is to create a system of continuous accumulation that ultimately can create passive income from you so you can leave your job and do what you're truly made to do, which is definitely, in my opinion, not being stuck in the cubicle for 60 hours a week answering stupid emails. Would you agree? Which is the majority of the people out there. So, why should you listen to me? Number one, I've got a lot of things that I've done over the years, but basically I'm a mortgage broker. I've also got a banking background. I'm a real estate agent. But more importantly, I'm a successful property investor that has managed to build a large property portfolio. And that's the only reason you should be listening to me. In fact, all the other credentials behind my name have no relevance for today. The other thing is I'm an author of Australian Property Finance Made Simple. It's a great book on finance, which you can buy by going to my site here, bookonfinance.com.au, or amazon.com or any of the bookshops in Australia. Also, really cool gift at the end. If you stick to the very end of this video and you watch the whole thing to the end, I want to give you a link to my home study, which is a 10-hour online video home study worth $497, no strings attached. In fact, you can watch this right after watching this video. So definitely watch to the very end. Here's the key distinctions to understand. This took me a long time to appreciate. An investment strategy will always override any property selection strategy. A finance strategy will always override any property selection strategy as well. So in the context of properties itself, if you're comparing the two, a townhouse in Edith Vale, a 4-bedroom townhouse in Edith Vale versus an old house in Edith Vale on a 696 square meters, this property over 10 years will definitely outperform this townhouse. No questions asked, not even arguing that fact. Absolutely. Land always appreciates and buildings depreciate. Now, don't get me wrong, this townhouse will do fine. It'll probably grow at 7%, 8% per annum, where this property will grow at 10% per annum. So, plus this property has the ability to be redeveloped. Okay, so there's no question about it. Why would you buy a townhouse with 160 square meters of land for 30 grand, where you can buy a house for the same price with a 669 square meter block? Well, I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you what the answer is. And it comes down to making money. You know, this is all it comes down to. The biggest thing, the biggest obstacle about investing is people are very emotional, and you've got to take the emotion out of the equation. Let's have a look at the property first. It's a new townhouse. It's halfway through construction right now. It's $837,000. It's 111 Kinross Avenue, Edith Vale. And it's just a beautiful 4-bedroom property, brand spanking new, architecturally designed. Downstairs, double lock-up garage and the bedroom. Upstairs, open plan living with another bedroom, and upstairs on the 3rd floor, 2 more bedrooms with en-suites. Great design, architectural design, great property, backing over to a park. Edith Vale is an up-and-coming area. It's just next to Aspendale. For those who don't know, Aspendale has boomed over the last few years. Now it's going to be Edith Vale's turn to do really well. And once again, brand new fixtures and fittings, you know, that you can choose on that property. This is a property that's advertised, that was sold for $845,000 by Hocking Stewart, which is literally next to the townhouse development, or in the corner, literally around the corner. And it's an older block of 696 square meters, which is $845,000. So let's assume they're roughly the same price. I mean, you know, it's virtually, there's no difference between them. But you can see that the property was built, you know, probably in the 40s or 50s. All the block and everything inside the property is original. You know, it's not a bad floor plan. Once again, you've got 4 bedrooms, open plan living area. Roughly the size of the house is the same size as a townhouse, okay? But obviously the biggest difference between the two is the land, right? So the question is always, this is mainly by novice investors, why the hell would I buy a townhouse on a small block of land? And some of these townhouses, the block of land is only 100 square meters. Well, I'm getting 696 square meters here. And it's a very legitimate thing. And by the way, this is the internal of the property. So you can see the kitchen's original. So what are some of the things you've got to start thinking about when you see the kitchen? Well, number one is there's virtually no depreciation here on any type of kitchen, cabinetry. And obviously the building was built before 1985, so there's no building depreciation, which means not only do you have no depreciation on the property, the rental will be a lot lower on this kind of property. Just think about it yourself. If you're renting this property versus if you had a kitchen that looked like that. Okay, so where this is going to get $650 a week rental, this property here probably get about $450 a week rental. Okay, so lower rental and no depreciation. But what does it really mean in terms of holding costs for an investor? And more importantly, what does it mean in your ability to revalue the property and then get other properties quicker? Because ultimately, it's not about just buying one property. Yes, this is a massive backyard, there's no comparison. This property will outperform the other property. However, having said that, if you buy brand new townhouses, because of the cash flow, which I'm about to do, I'm going to show you live cash flow analysis, you're going to find that you can buy more of the other townhouses, many more over 10 years, compared to just one older house, which is why 72.8% of investors only have one property, because they bought something that's comparable to what they live in, which is usually an old house on a big block of land that's costing them $200, $250 per week in maintenance plus. And that's the reality of investing. So if you look at the comparison, you got virtually the same price, okay? Old house is $845, brand new townhouse $837. Have a look at the difference. Land size, $696. This is only 96. Some of them have a bigger block, but I've chosen the smallest block in the project. I mean, there's 600 square meters difference in land size. 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1 car garage. 4 bedroom, 3 bath, 2 car garage. Okay, virtually the same size property. Okay, the rental yield is very different. 2.5% for the house, $420 a week, versus 4%, which is $650 a week. So once again, you got $21,840 with the rental. This is $33,800. Tax deductions were virtually limited to holding costs, which are interest repayments, landlord's insurance, building insurance, and property management, and land tax and council rates. Here you've got maximum deductions. Building depreciation, which is 2.5% over 40 years, which is a huge amount of money compared to zero, plus all the deductions and all the other fixtures and fittings. So the future maintenance is also a big issue. You've got maximum future maintenance. You've got to allow at least $2 to $3 grand a year in maintenance costs on the old house. I know because I've got old houses in my property portfolio that are mainly development sites. And let me tell you, the plumbing, electricals, things are always breaking down. Water heaters, air conditioners, you know, you name it, ovens, everything breaks down. You've got sewage pipes cracking, you've got all sorts of issues. Brand new, 7-year building guarantee. There's virtually no headaches for the first 7 years, which is phenomenal because after 7 years, it virtually becomes net cash flow positive. So let's crunch some numbers, and this is some of the things you need to look out for as an investor as well. Number one is you've got to have an independent valuation, which is a given. Okay, so let's assume you've done that. Both properties are valued up at the same price as they're selling for. Then you've got to get a rental appraisal from a local agent. Let's say we've done that as well. So you've got $450 and $650, or $420 and $650 for the two. You've got to have owner's corporation. Now, yes, the townhouse has owner's corporation fees, but the old house has building insurance. Majority of owner's corporation fees actually go towards, for townhouses, go towards building insurance. So whether you're paying $1,500 for owner's corp for a townhouse or $1,100 per year for just building insurance, what's the difference? There's virtually, it's minimum. Then you've got council rates. You've also got the depreciation schedule, which you need to get also to make sure you're claiming everything. But the biggest thing is stamp duty. See, with an off-the-plan property in Edithvale, your stamp duty is only 12 grand. Where if you're buying an 850 property off, completed, you're paying 45, 47,000. So you're saving 30 grand just in stamp duty. So let's talk about the numbers. Let me just show you a report and how much it will cost you to hold on to this property. We've put all the numbers in. I just want to show you a report here that will detail the actual deductions. I'm going to play around with the report. So you've got property value 850, okay? Your conveyancing costs is pretty much the same. The stamp duty is going to be a lot lower on the brand new property, 15,000 compared to 45,000 on the old house. Loan costs, we're working out the loan costs at 850 plus all the closing costs. So we're looking at 850,000 plus the purchase cost of 16,250. Interest only loan, 4%. Okay, so you've got the annual repayments of $34,723, and the weekly rental for that property is $650 a week. So you can see there, you're getting $33,124 in annual rent, and your holding costs are $34,723. You can see that the gap is virtually covered, right? You've got a small gap there. Also on top of that, you've got regular expenses. You've got agents' commissions, which is property management fees, $2,551. Letting fees, $650 as a one-off payment. Council rates, $1,900 a year. Insurance, which is landlord insurance, $360. Body corporate, $1,200. Total expenses for the year, $6,661, which is 20% of your basic rental. And your net rental yield is 3.11% on the townhouse. Now, let's take a hypothetical client who's on $80,000 per year. Okay, so you can see that your cash flow negative slightly, but after tax credits, it's virtually cash flow positive. So if we take a hypothetical client, let's call him John Smith. John's on $80,000 per year. His rental income gets added to that income, which is $33,124. So total income goes to $113,124. Rental deduction, $61,729. New taxable income drops down to $51,395. The current tax is $19,147 that John is paying, okay? And the new tax that he's paying on the lower income is only $9,049. So he's saving himself $10,098 in tax, okay? Which means the property in this example is actually cash flow positive by $35 per week for John. So if John on 80 grand buys a townhouse, after all the deductions, it's making him $35 per week. So is he going to go again very quickly? Absolutely, because $35 a week, cash flow positive, it hasn't changed his lifestyle. So if you keep buying brand new townhouses of minimum income, your lifestyle's not affected. So you're going to go again in the following year and the year after. As long as you've got equity in this townhouse or your home, you're going to go again and again. And this is what I find. People buying townhouses tend to buy more of them. And I've got clients buying 3, 4, 5 townhouses in the first 12 months, 24 months. Just because they buy one, they settle, the rental covers everything, and then just go again. Let's change this now. And I'm going to go into the PIA software. And I hope you can see that at the back there. And I'm going to change a couple of things about this property scenario, okay? I want to change it into a house now. So I'm going to take away some of the benefits of buying brand new properties, okay? The first thing is I'm going to add stamp duty to it. Look at the stamp duty on this property if it's completed, $46,070, which is huge compared to 15 grand, okay? The rental income drops down from $650 to $420 a week, which is 2.5%. The rental expenses are the same, right? Nothing's changed. Body corporate's no longer $1,200. It's just building insurance. Let's make it $950. Okay, so that's the main difference between a house and a townhouse. Depreciation on the building, there is no depreciation on the building, okay, because you don't get to depreciate the building. And there's definitely no depreciation on fixtures and fittings because they've all been depreciated years ago. So you don't get to claim any of those benefits. The loan amount, let's assume you're lending all the money, including all the closing costs. Okay, so I'm assuming an investor's using equity out of another property. Loan interest rate's the same, 4%. Nothing's changed. Loan cost hasn't changed. The investor's still on 80 grand. Okay, and they've got just an average house with 600 grand. Nothing's really changed. what's the net outcome to the investor? It's now costing him $246 a week. So it went from cash flow positive of $35 a week to cash flow negative of $246 a week. And this is the issue with these properties. Have a look at how much money they're spending in the first 12 months. Even after deductions on the interest, $12,000, $11,000. Okay, they're spending $250 a week on average, which is around 10, 11, 12 grand a year for a number of years before it becomes cash flow positive. It's not so much how much the property will make, it's how many properties you can accumulate, how quickly, and how much you're going to be paying out of pocket. You see, the brand new townhouse here is going to be $35 cash flow positive for you per week. Okay, it's going to grow at 7% per annum. Okay, so it will double in year 12. This is the townhouse. The house is actually costing you $250 a week, which hurts. If you're on 80 grand, that's a lot of money to spend. That could affect your lifestyle. You know, plus if you get hit a couple of times with major expenses, hot water systems, sewerage pipes, electricals, whatever, it could be a structural problem, it could be anything. Rising damp, yeah, definitely it's going to go at 10% plus. So it will definitely double in year 7. It will outperform the townhouse, but guess what? With the townhouse, after 10 years, what if that townhouse enabled you to buy 3 more townhouses with $750 each? So you've got another $750, another $750, another $750, plus the original $800,000. Okay, so you've got basically, you know, what's that? 1.5. You know, let's say $3 million worth of real estate. Where here, basically, you know, in year 10, it's gone from 800 to 1.6, so 1.7 million. And you got one property. You see, these people tend to build wealth much quicker than these people. This is why 72.8% of investors only have one property. They've got an old house with a big backyard that's costing them $250, $300 a week. These people are smarter with their money. They're buying properties that are brand new. They have higher rental yield, high depreciation, low maintenance cost. Therefore, it's not affecting their lifestyle. And because it's not affecting their lifestyle, they're buying more and more quicker. And over 10 years, they can hold more property. Yes, that's appreciating a lower rate, but it's still more property and they're making more money. At the end of this period of time, if they sold their portfolio, this portfolio will outperform that portfolio. And that's what it's all about. And that's why, in this instance, a townhouse, unless you're redeveloping the other block, but if your intention is just to buy and hold, never sell, that townhouse in Edithvale, in line with the strategy, will outperform the detached house any time of the day. And that's the biggest distinction that took me years to understand, that a property strategy always outperforms a property selection strategy. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this quick video about comparing a townhouse in Edithvale to a detached house, virtually for the same price, yet a massive difference in the land component. And this is the key distinction that I want to just repeat again, that a finance strategy and an investment strategy will always outperform a property selection strategy. And this is why most people fail to build large property portfolios, because they buy one house that's costing them $250 a week, $300, even $500 a week, and after that they don't even know about a second property. Most families in Australia on average incomes of 80 grand a year cannot afford to spend $300 per week maintaining an investment property, where most people buying a brand new property are actually getting money back from the taxman after expenses, which is unbelievable. They're still getting growth and still getting the suburb with less headaches and less maintenance issues. So if you're interested in learning more, I encourage you guys to join me and other investors at an upcoming Real Estate Fast Track Weekend. These events I run from time to time. You can scroll down below, check the links. I run these in Melbourne, in our office here in St Kilda. And look, they're free events, but they do tend to book out very quickly because they're only limited to 40 seats. Mainly because our seminar room in our office only has 50 seats. So they do tend to book out really quickly. In fact, there's a waiting list for these events right now. If you are interested in attending, these are the speakers for the next one. We've got Stephen Molnar, who's a successful property investor. He'll be emceeing the event. Then we've got Martine Angelique, who's a chartered practicing accountant, director of Savvy Accounting Solutions, and she'll teach you why it's very important for you to build wealth by utilizing trust and corporate trustees. You should never have properties in your own name. Number 3 is Cameron Fisher from Changing Places Real Estate and director of buymyplace.com, a recently listed company in the stock exchange. Also a qualified valuer and a fully licensed real estate agent. Cameron's been in property for over 30 years and he's done 5,000 successful auctions in Melbourne. 5,000 auctions. So he's got a little bit of an insight, you could say, into the property market. I obviously am there speaking about finance and psychology. And then we've got finally Stephen McClatchy from Loans Australia. Stephen's company specialises in lending solutions for property investors, and the company has just broken the $1 billion mark in settled loans for investors, which is pretty much unprecedented in the industry. The event it's a 2-day event. Mainly we run these out of our head office in St Kilda. From time to time we run them at the Blackburn Hotel in St Kilda Road. So check out the venue, check out the dates, just scroll below and book yourself in, and I hope to see you at the event. The event is broken down into 2 days, by the way. Day 1 is all about finance, psychology, cash flow analysis, due diligence and research. Day 2, we take you out of the classroom environment, stick you onto a bus with other 40 like-minded individuals, and we drive around Melbourne and educate you on the best suburbs and possibly some suburbs you should avoid investing, and more importantly, which areas to target and which properties to target in those areas. So it's an amazing 2-day event. It's probably my favourite thing I do all year, to be honest with you. Also, for those who can't attend, definitely get a copy of my book, bookonfinance.com.au, or just check out Amazon or any good bookshop. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, here's your free link to my online 10-hour home study, which is basically a recording from 2 years ago of the Real Estate Investing Fast Track Weekend. And just because you stuck through to the end with this video, and look, I'll send you the link, and the link is actually below this video right now. And if you click on the link below, this is what it looks like. Super easy to use, 10 hours of education. Not only that, you also get a book or 265-page manual which covers all the PowerPoint slides of this home study. I hope you enjoy the home study. I hope it serves you well. Guys, it's been amazing. Thank you very much. This is Konrad Bobilak, and I'll see you on the inside.